Hello everyone, Giltar here with a video on the topic of the Combiner Wars, both official and unofficial. Now, as always with my discussion videos, I invite participation from all viewers through the traditional text comments you can leave below. I also invite video responses, so if anybody out there has the ability to shoot a video and upload it to a YouTube account, please create your response there if you want to. Let me know what the link is, and I'll link it here in my video and in the description section. Now, I'll be focusing on the Transformers brand in my part of this discussion, but you can talk about any combiner concept in general, be it from other forms of robot or mecha anime or manga or video game characters as well. You can talk about things like the robots in Super Sentai or Power Rangers. I know of at least one line that was released recently in Korea that are of basically transforming robot toys that use combining function quite extensively. So whatever it is that you're into, or whatever it is you want to bring into this discussion with regards to combining toys, please do so. I'd love to hear your thoughts in general. So for example, what do you think of combiners? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Are you indifferent towards them? What are some of your favorite combiners? What would you like to see in combiners? Everything under the sun with regards to the combiners, I guess, I'd like to hear. So I guess I'll start off my video focusing first on the official Combiner Wars. Now, Hasbro has called literally the Combiner Wars for one of their upcoming product line initiatives that is going to launch in January 2015. The first two Combiner War toys that they've shown are the Aerialbots and the Stunticons. Respectively, they will create Superion and Menasor. And in addition to that, they also are showing off further functionality in some new upcoming Legends class toys. So just to give you an idea, from what I understand, Hasbro is going to utilize the Legends, Deluxe, and Voyager class toy scales or price points for their upcoming Combiner Wars products. And what that means is that whether it's a Legends class, Deluxe class, or Voyager class, these toys will have something to do with combiner function or combiner, I guess, add-on or accessory function. As far as I know, the combiners themselves will be made up of a Voyager class core robot for the torso and head. And for the limbs, we're going to have Deluxe class toys. And where the Legends toys come in, as far as one example that Hasbro showed off during some of the conventions that happened this past summer, is that they used an upcoming Power Glide Legends class toy, which, in addition to transforming into a sort of jet mode, a robot humanoid mode, it could also turn into a gun mode that I believe was shown off being held by Superion, which I think is a really great function. Not only are you having combiner toys as things that turn into a larger robot, but you're also having the functionality of some certain smaller toys in the Legends class size that can assist the larger combiners by serving as essentially like a target master almost, or as like a little weapon. And I think that's a really great function. And with all of these little details in mind, I'm viewing the Combiner Wars by Hasbro as their first in a long time full commitment to combiner toy functionality. I don't believe since probably Energon or Cybertron have we seen Hasbro really focus on combiner, sort of a combiner direction in a major move in any of their toy lines. So you could also say, I guess, for example, in Transformers Animated, we had Safeguard, which was a sort of a duo robot combiner. We had things like Revenge of the Fallen, Leader Class Optimus Prime and Jetfire, the Power Core Combiners toys, the War for Cybertron, or Fall of Cybertron, I can't remember which one, Bruticus, which I have on screen here. And to me, all those combiner examples are definitely combiner toys, but they're either one-off toys, rather than being a full product line, or in the case of the Power Core Combiners, yeah, it was a full product line, but it wasn't fully committed because it was only the core robot that was a character. The rest of the limbs were basically drones, and they just had either a vehicle mode or a limb mode and nothing else. And I don't really consider that to be a full combiner in my eyes. So I'm really glad to see Hasbro's upcoming Combiner Wars product line really showing us that they're sort of giving their all, and they're really going all in, and hopefully it'll be successful so that Hasbro will continue to focus on that product line and not drop it after a wave or two. So that's a really great thing in my mind. Now, moving on to the unofficial front, for several years now, there has been a sort of unofficial combiner war thing going on throughout the different third-party companies. It kind of started really innocuously through Fans Project's Aerial Team Appendage Kit, which is simply an add-on kit to enhance Energon Superion. After that, we had sort of an upgrade for the Energon Bruticus in that not only did it have add-on parts, but it also provided a replacement for Swindle and a replacement for Blastoff. And then after that, I believe, we saw TFC bring in a fully developed combiner action figure in the form of Hercules, which was basically an analog to Generation 1 Devastator. And near the same time, Make Toys made Giant, which was their analog to Generation 1 Devastator. And from that point onward, in the third-party industry, we saw a pretty steady sort of addition of different combiner toys. We saw, for example, afterwards by TFC, Uranus, which was basically an analog to Superion. And other examples, the Predaking Wars. We had Unique Toys, TFC, and Mastermind Creations, each one developing their own Predaking analog set. We have also TFC, once again, doing a Defensor combiner group, which is still in production. Make Toys just finished up Quantron, which is the Computron analog. And we have some other ones coming up in the future. Unique Toys is coming back into the combiner arena with the first member of their Abominus analog. It's called Orden. And the first team member revealed is called Troll, which is an analog to Blot. What else do we have? I believe Warmatron has their Bruticus analog in production, and they've also announced for pre-order their next combiner toy, which is going to be an analog to Computron. They haven't given it a name yet. And actually, we have something else going on too in the third-party industry. People have been calling it the Dinobot Wars. And in the Dinobot Wars, we also have sort of a mini combiner war thing going on there, where I believe there are 3 different Dinobot combiner teams being produced right now as well. So all in all, on the combiner toy front, at least as far as official and unofficial Transformers goes, we're in a pretty good spot. In fact, some people would view it as almost like a golden age of combiner toys. And I would tend to agree. I think right now we are definitely very fortunate to have a good variety of different options for combiner toys, and more are coming in the foreseeable future. So that's a really great sign for those who enjoy combiners like myself. As far as my own personal history, as a kid, I only owned one combiner set in full, which was the Generation 1 Aerobots, and Superion was just, I don't know why, but Superion was just a really cool combiner to me, and I'm really glad to see that we've seen different iterations of Superion over the years. Aside from that, I've had bits and pieces of other combiner teams, whether I was able to buy them on my own, just individual figures, but I never completed them, or there may have been, I think some of them were hand-me-downs from friends who just didn't want them anymore and they gave them to me. And now as an adult who has gone back into the collecting sort of hobby, I guess, I've gone back into combiner collecting, and I tentatively started with Hercules, but I never completed that. I do have the Aerial Team Appendage Kit. I have the Crossfire, Munitioner, and Explorer, as you can see here on my Energon Bruticus. Or actually, it's the Revenge of the Fallen recolor. And I've started to collect the Mastermind Creations Feral Rex combiner team. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where the modern and future technologies of toy engineering go as far as combiners. Just because combiner toys are not the easiest toys to develop, because they're essentially triple changers. They have to serve as a humanoid robot form, an alternate form of some sort, and then a limb. And if you go into the Scramble City sort of design, where you have to be a limb of either arm or leg, you can be one or the other, that adds a 4th mode, so they're quadruple changers. So it's quite impressive to see really well done combiners, because even the worst of combiners, they are actually pretty good in toy design in general. They might have failed as a combiner, but they're not the easiest toys to develop in the first place. Now, as far as my thoughts go for the future, I am thinking that, to be honest, most of my attention will be in the third-party combiner arena. I'm definitely keeping an eye on the Hasbro Combiner Wars, and I'm not going to pass judgment until I see the final products. But the promotional photos shown of Superion and Menasor, as well as the physical prototype samples shown off at the conventions, just don't look that great. I think Hasbro, if these toys aren't properly shown off, Hasbro should have put more effort in properly presenting them to make them look better, because there's a lot of criticism going around in the collecting fandom over the appearance of Superion and Menasor. And I hope that by the time we get the final production samples shipped out and people get them in hand, that various issues have been addressed, excuse me, and resolved. And so that Hasbro has a valid contender in the Combiner Wars overall, not just on the official front. I definitely think that the Hasbro official combiners, the number one advantage and edge that they have is that they're cheaper than the third-party combiners by far. And so if you are on a budget, they're definitely going to be something that should be a contending option. But aside from that, if you do have the money to spare, the third-party combiners are very difficult to not get into if you are a fan of combiners, just because most of them are just really great examples of toy design and engineering. They all have their flaws, but they also have, all of them, some really great strengths. So I guess I'll leave it at that for now. We were over 10 minutes in my video here. Once again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, whether it be a text comment or a video response. Please participate in this conversation, and let's get this discussion going. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you at the next video.